Trump voters in North Carolina are dealing with the consequences of their votes after the president froze all disaster aid funding through FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management. Now, in an article from Sunday entitled Trump Vowed to Help the NC Mountains Rebuild After Hurricane Helene, frustration remains. Shocker. Shocker. The Washington Post highlighted bridges in the state that are littered with crushed cars, houses knocked off their foundations, and thousands of downed trees, and accompanied by signs that read, "Trump, make this bridge great again." Yeah. 5 months after Hurricane Helene, they write, about 300 privately owned bridges in this county have yet to be fixed. While Americans typically rely on a mix of state and federal aid in the wake of disaster, the recovery for many here has become akin to a personal test of their relationship with President Donald Trump. Personal test of you don't have a relationship with President Donald Trump. He does not give one flying F about you. Okay? He does not care. Thinking that Donald Trump, or most politicians for that matter, thinking that they care about you is a lot like thinking that the stripper is into you. Okay? They're not. Okay? He's just not into you. And he's not going to help you. All right? Now, the story quotes some locals who have been affected by the disaster, including Gary Hicks. Gary Hicks had been critical of Biden's response, okay, to the disaster and voted for Donald Trump. Hicks and four of their families have been trying to figure out how to come up with the estimated $200,000 it will cost to replace the bridges. Even if a small rain shower can make the river rise, stranding their cars, the report states. With Biden, Hicks said there was no hope of getting things done. He voted for Trump, but he's still waiting. Yeah, he's going to be waiting for a very long time. Okay. Look, the guy had it backwards. Under Donald Trump, there is no hope. Trump has frozen funds that have already been approved by Congress and has talked about openly with doing away with FEMA. Now, he can't do that without an act of Congress, but he's doing the next, I guess, best thing, which is to deprive it of funding. Trump and his allies also targeted the agency in the wake of Hurricane Helene, spreading lies that FEMA under Biden was diverting disaster money to undocumented immigrants. That's right. Failing to provide helicopters, limiting aid to $750 per person, and cutting off support for Republican areas. None of that was true. None of that was true. But of course, they believed it anyway. But here's the reality. Over the last 4 years, FEMA has provided more than $12 billion to individuals and $133 billion to state and local governments, tribal nations, territories, and some nonprofits in order to help with recovery efforts. Yes. Is FEMA perfect? No. Okay, no. But ironically, one of the bigger problems now with FEMA, and again, it's come a long way since Hurricane Katrina, which was a complete and utter disaster, a shit show, all right? But now they've gotten a lot better, all right? So one of the big problems now facing FEMA, aside from Donald Trump's assault on it, is that it's been having to increasingly take the role of flood insurance. Why? It's because you have these companies, and not just flood insurance, right? But other types of insurance in these disaster-prone areas. Now, Florida is a great example of that. Do you know the home insurance market is completely collapsed in the state of Florida? Why? Well, climate change. Hurricane season happens to be longer and more deadly now. And so these insurance companies are packing it up. They're saying, we can't make money here. There's too much disaster, right? We got to go. Now, here's the other thing, right? You might not believe in climate change, but guess what? Your insurance company sure does. Just something something to note. And as they leave, FEMA gets counted on more and more to help repair the damage. But now Donald Trump is saying, let's get rid of that. Let's let the states handle it. Yes, that's right. Now the states are saying, whoa, what? No, we can't handle that. No, it's too much. We don't have the resources. Lynn Budd, director of the Wyoming Office of Homeland Security, said in an interview with Stateline, quote, I don't think it makes sense to get rid of FEMA. There are economies of scale that a nationwide agency provides. States don't have that capability built to handle a disaster every single year. So, yeah, Gary, help ain't coming, buddy. Not under Donald Trump. Now, Vermont State Senator Ann Watson, who is a Democrat, by the way, has been involved in the state's recovery from the 2023 floods, said FEMA has been an absolute lifesaver for people. I don't see states and municipalities being able to replicate what FEMA does. The possibility of it going away leaves millions and millions of Americans in a very vulnerable position. Now, here's the big irony, though, right? So Trump's talking about, oh, we got to get rid of FEMA and, we've got to stop sending money to, that they're going to misspend or whatever. The irony here is that red states have actually been needing and receiving the most federal aid. Yes. Since 2015, residents in Florida, Louisiana, and Texas have received the highest amounts of individual assistance payments from FEMA, exceeding $2 billion in each state. And there it is. Okay. But thanks to Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they're not going to get any more funding. All right. This is what voting against your best interests looks like. But don't worry, though. All right. The money that Donald Trump is saving by illegally freezing FEMA funds will end up going to finance his tax cuts for the rich. So, I mean, it'll work out. I mean, not for you. It'll work out for him because he'll save more money in taxes. So, yeah. And by the way, yes, it is illegal. Donald Trump has been ordered several times by a judge, several judges, actually, to release the funding, and he continues to refuse to do so. In fact, the agency announced on Friday that it is canceling all in-person training offered by the National Fire Academy, which provides free training for fire and emergency services personnel to ensure that the country is prepared for the next climate-related disaster. Well, there you go. That would be why. It has to do with environmental justice. That's right. DEI.
The wokers.
It's the all woke. We got to cancel it because it's too woke. Okay. Well, there you go. Look, Donald Trump doesn't believe in climate change. So if your state burns or drowns or gets blown away, well, it's a sad day for you. Should have been so woke then. According to the Daily Beast, New York, New Jersey, and Vermont were told by the administration to stop working on federal flood protection activities related to environmental justice. California and Michigan are not able to access pre-approved grants or loans, and FEMA is not reimbursing Washington State for disaster recovery. Why? All of this is part of his ongoing efforts to try to make sure that federal programs align with his administration's priorities, which, of course, his administration's priorities are to own the libs. Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, getting back to Gary, okay, you and your friends, y'all voted for this. You bought the lies, hook, line, and sinker, the conspiracy theories, and put a man into office that will not help you. And by the way, if help does eventually come, and I hope it does, because I'm not a heartless person, okay, it will be because of blue states that have been suing the administration, which they currently are, as well as Obama-era judges who will, at the end of the day, force him to help the very people that put him into office in the first place. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media, through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.